Okay, so we're going to have a look at these two spiral roundabouts. Firstly, the A183 Chester Road turning right onto the A19 northbound, third exit. And then we're going to leave the A19 at the very next exit and turn right again, third exit, for the A1231, Wessington Way, towards Sunderland. The video is going to start just before the penultimate roundabout, before the A19 one, where the Hastings Hill pub is. So this is the roundabout just before the one we're trying to work on. We're following the road ahead at this one. You'll notice the Hastings Hill pub there on the left hand side. You can use that as a little reference so you know the next one is the tricky one, and that's coming up. Now we're turning right for the A19 northbound at this roundabout. You'll see there's no signs, unfortunately, to tell us what lane to use, so we have to rely on road markings. You can see that in the left lane that we're already in, it says A19 northbound, so you must be able to use that as well as the right hand lane, which also says A19 northbound. The left lane's the best one to use because you'll leave the roundabout on the left, which saves any trouble with undertaking afterwards. You'll notice that it says Tyne Tunnel right at this roundabout. If you happen to be following Tyne Tunnel, that also is the A19 northbound. Importantly, the lane we're in widens and splits to two at this point. You've got to stay just to the left of the green highlighted line there. It's important to mirrors and signal at this point before this happens, just so other traffic knows where you're going. So we're taking the middle lane now. We notice it says A19 northbound in the middle lane, so we know we're on the right track. But it says A19 southbound in the left lane, so we can't use that to turn right for the A19 northbound. Really important that you stay in your lane at this point. Difficult to see the lane markings. I've tried to outline them in green here so you're staying in that middle lane. There's the first exit. Remember, you're taking the third exit, and A19 northbound marked again in your lane. This is where a lot of people run into trouble, by following the wrong lines. The lane lines you need to follow I've highlighted in green here, and the one you don't need to follow is highlighted in red. That's for traffic joining from another entry road. Try and ignore the red line, follow the green one. I'll just advance the video a little bit further and try and highlight those lines again for you. Stay between the green lines, ignore the red lines. I'll fade those out. And remember where you're going. You're going for the third exit, not the second. The second exit is for Chesterley Street. Third exit for the A19 northbound. Can you see how it's going to make you leave the roundabout in the left? That is exactly what you want to do. And off we go in the left lane. So we'll have another look at that in real time without any graphics on. We can see we need the left lane because it says A19 north in it. Mirrors and signal at this point for a right to tell people you're moving into the middle lane, and maintain that signal all the way around the roundabout until just after the second exit. Stay in your lane carefully, hard as it is to see the lines. Notice how that car just moved from the middle lane to the left. Try not to do stuff like that. Try not to change lanes on the roundabout. We should be planning ahead so we don't have to do it. The grey car just did the same there, from the middle to the left lane. And then we're off in the left lane. Any traffic who wants to pass us, who's a bit more aggressive than us, they can pass us on the right lane. That's how we want it to be. We want to be in the left when we leave. Okay, so we'll resume from there. We're carrying on that exit slip from the A183 roundabout. Staying in the left. What happens here is we have a lane gain. So this lane, rather than having to merge into the main road, you can stay in this lane for now and then work out where you need to be when you see signs. We're going for Sunderland on the A1231 next. We're looking for signs that tell us where that is. This next sign on your left tells you where the 3 lanes go. As you can see, Gateshead, Newcastle West and Sunderland North, which is where we're going. And it's marked on the gantry signs. Of the 3 lanes, that is the left, and we're already in that, so we're going to stay in this left-hand lane. When this video was done, there's a 50 limit on this road. Watch out for that in case it's there. So this is a lane drop. This is going to drop off the main road and become the exit slip. You'll notice another sign here. This sign is just a repeat of the one we last saw. It tells us that we're in the correct lane for Sunderland and Gateshead. The arrows tell you where the lanes go. Don't be thinking you need the left lane to turn right for Sunderland at the roundabout because of this sign. That sign's the important one. That tells us to use the right lane of the 2 for Sunderland, the left lane's for Newcastle. You'll see there that it says Sunderland in the right lane, Washington in the left lane. And again. And again with a sign as well. Now what happens is the lane we're in here is going to split into 2. Which lane can we use for Sunderland? Well, the right one is marked for Sunderland, but so is this one that we're in. And this one's the best one to use because it's going to guide us off the roundabout in the left, which is where we want to be really. The traffic lights on this roundabout change quite often, so be careful with the traffic lights. As you're waiting here, you're trying to look where your lanes are going. Look where the green lines go, they're the ones you need to follow. And remember where you're going as well, you're taking the 3rd exit for the A1231 for Sunderland. I've sped the video up a little bit here till we get a green light. So as we get a green, I'll have a little pause here and point out the lines you should be following in green. But first, the ones you shouldn't be following in red. They're the ones for traffic already on the roundabout. The green lines are the ones you're following. Trace them with your eyes. There's the 1st exit for Washington, and there's the green lines you should be following. Notice it says 1231 Sunderland in the middle lane, but not in the left. People get confused here as well. Look at where your line goes with the little dots, not the one with the big lines. Remember, that's the 2nd exit. That's not the one you want. The one you want's the next one for the A1231 for Sunderland. And you're off in the left. And faster traffic that wants to overtake you can pass you in the right, and that's just the way it should be. So have another look at it in real time. Staying in the left lane of the 3. you'll see the sign on the left that tells you you'll need this left lane that you're already in for Sunderland. If you wanted to carry on northbound on the A19, you'd have to use the middle or right lanes. The overhead gantry sign also tells you that. Then remember, the next sign is just a repeat of the one you've already seen, telling you that you're in the correct lane already for leaving the main road for Sunderland. This sign with the 2 arrows on tells you to use the right lane for Sunderland. It says Sunderland quite a few times in the right lane, but not in the left. Then remember, look for what it says on the road. It says Sunderland in both lanes of the two you could use. It says Washington in this one as well, but also Sunderland. Make sure you see that. Gotta wait for the lights. I haven't sped the video up this time, so we're gonna have to wait quite a long time for a green, unfortunately. Make sure you're looking at the line on your left and your right and trace that line. Stay between those two lines. Don't get tempted to start following other lines that aren't yours. Also remember, you're following the A1231 for Sunderland. If you look again, you'll notice it doesn't say A1231 for Sunderland in the left lane. You need to stay in this one you're in. And it takes you nicely off the roundabout in the left.